Train by day, Kyle Wigington podcast by night, all day.
Who are you? But I appreciate you knowing me though. Like that's how it gets so awkward for me sometimes because of that.
Well, especially with some of the content that you post, Miss Shakedown.
They're like, oh, that's that one we talk. Yeah, I really don't know which one they're knowing me for. And I'm like, oh, which one? What is it? I know. Somebody called me the New Orleans Ice Spice. I was like, I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, that's a rough nickname to have.
No, not a New Orleans Ice Spice.
So anyway, today was supposed to be a political podcast where you were arguing for your candidate and another gentleman was arguing for his candidate, but our other guest backed out on us last minute.
Yeah.
So I think we just... I was really eager. Like, I love having you on the podcast, but I was really eager to hear his take because my whole thing with this political race that we have right now is I do not understand why anyone would vote for Kamala. And I'm only saying this because no one's gave me a good enough argument yet for why they would.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to hear his pitch and see what he had to say. But I guess like he didn't really have an argument, so he just didn't come.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't. Maybe he didn't have enough. Maybe he start to see more of why maybe the other side may be a little bit better for the times we're in. That's what my suggestion. But I mean, I don't think that it takes rocket science to like see what's going on, and you know, you just can't come on here and say, "Hey, I like her because she went to HBCU or because her mom is Indian or she calls herself Black." I don't think that people should kind of even try to choose a political person, candidate, president, anybody in government over because they went to HBCU and they're Black. And, you know, I think morals matter. I think what the person is talking about when it comes to directly their community or where they live is very important because, you know, why go outside the source, you know, of your own community? It doesn't make sense. And maybe a lot of what he was still hearing from, you know, his point of view was, hey, they are saying more things because when you see the interviews and you hear the interviews, they're, you know, the Democrat Party, the Harris community right now, that's what they're saying a lot of. How just like what we've been going through the last, you know, 4 years of America, they have been giving money away. And this, let me start here. I feel like, and this is not that Trump is the best candidate or anything, but if we look at what he was trying to do 4 years ago, or say before, you know, Biden was president, there was so much controversy about his personality and who it was, but he really was trying to do something important, which was kind of have some control over those borders in America. And I recently seen a video, the borders are packed. I have seen stories. I've seen a lot of people talking about some of these people that are trying to come into America without any paperwork, no vaccines, nothing coming in here. They leave their kids. They're doing whatever to get here. I don't understand. I know as an American person that's been living here all my life, I mean, shit is not the worst, but it's also not the best. But I don't think it's safe. So I feel like Trump, he was trying to do something very positive, but the effects of stopping him for what he was doing is what we have now. Mm-hmm. So 4 years ago, like they said, you didn't hear about immigrants. I mean, honestly, or illegal immigrants coming into apartments and, you know, just all these weird things that you hear now and, you know, just gaining all these resources 4 years ago before this, you know, Democrats got in office with Biden. You did not hear about stuff like this. You didn't even see anything.
So you're talking about like the immigrants that came over and now are getting housed in hotels in New York and stuff on the tax dollars of us?
Yes. And I want to say this because people want to say, oh, you're racist or, you know, they will say a lot of things. When you do the right thing, and even people who legal immigrants who have come here, and I've seen comments on a lot of videos, they say, I spent thousands of dollars to get here. I had to leave my family for a while to get here. And they actually feel good that they worked hard to like properly get where they are as far as coming into another country. Mm-hmm. And I think, hey, that's respectable because if we sit here as an American today, I can't go to Venezuela, right? I got to have my passport. They're going to make sure I have my vaccines. You know, the TSA, whatever, it's going to be hard up. And if I do one wrong thing, I'm in a dungeon, you know.
That's even to get your citizenship when you're over there. That's a whole nother ballgame.
Yeah. I mean, that's even more of thousands of dollars. I mean, even though the currency is different, that's still a lot for us to even go to another country. So I would say for me, it's confusing because it's just like these people are so far away, like how are you even getting here like safely? I understand like when we had like kind of like the Mexico and America thing with the border, like, we're still kind of right there. That line is there, but you're there, like, Mexicans. But at the same time, it's expanding. And I feel like when I talk to like, the Americans, people that have been living here all your life, it's like the struggle is real for us. And the fact that we still feel like there's more that we need is just like not fair. But like the last 4 years of like the Democrats being in the House, you just see the difference.
What almost feels like they care more about other places than they do their own home.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, they're not taking care of their own people. They're trying to like bring other people in to take care of them.
Yeah.
But I think that's what I was talking about when I say that politicians are so out of touch with what it is to be lower middle class and middle class that they don't even understand that people are struggling. Yeah. So that's why if we're going to actually run this country properly, we need someone who is from the middle class to be a president.
Yeah. I think I think the class is important, but everybody has what they has, but as a whole as America, if things are protected, like, you know what I'm saying? Like the taxes, right? Like you see, and I forgot what state this is in, but you can find a lot of these stories on TikTok. You can put different things and you can put whatever you want in. I'm sorry. But there was a man, he had a family member. I think this was maybe in Ohio. I'm not sure. I don't directly remember. His family member was disabled. He was on housing and he was looking to move up. He wanted to go to a better apartments. They were building new apartments for, the housing for people that are applying for housing. They gave it to the immigrants that just came in. And also he got a call that his number was moved on the list, but it was moved even farther. Mind you, when you get on housing lists, we know New Orleans housing lists take forever. It could take like 4 years for you to get on a house. But when you get a call that you are even more down the list, you have disability, and then you see, and I'm not suggesting like people are probably like, hey, how do they know these people? I mean, they speak different language. You can tell, when new people are moving into your community, but he didn't get the house. So there are even new things being built in America that are not going to
Americans. Yeah,
that have been waiting, which is kind of not fair. You know what I'm saying? And
no, that's definitely not fair. Not kind of not fair.
Yeah, that's not fair. So when you said like how government's not doing what they're supposed to do, or like people that want to be presidents, that's what's happening in other countries, I feel like. And now for some reason, whatever it is, America's being slapped for it. So now that all these other dictators or leaders or whatever you want to call them in these other countries aren't doing what they want to do, everybody's like, come to America. And it's like, no, your leaders and your presidents or whatever you guys use need to do better for your people. I can say and this is why America shouldn't give money away in the way they've been doing it, because it's not getting their countries anywhere and they're fleeing here. And it's also taking what, we've been doing away from us. So it really doesn't even make sense. And when you hear about the Democratic Party and, what they want to do, it's like, let's include everybody that steps into America. And this, y'all can find these interviews of, the Harris community talking about this and, Kamala talking about this. Let's help everybody that comes in. Everybody that comes in here, whether legal or not, deserves resources. That's her thing. I mean, hey.
So I understand the argument there, because we all are just humans, right?
Yeah.
So if a human comes here, we should take care of them. But at the same time, we shouldn't be telling them to come here, and you should be taking care of your own people first. The fact that we have people living under bridges down here and we're giving houses to other people that come in the country, that's wrong.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take a rocket science to see this, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you just open your eyes, you can see that we're not taking care of our own people in our own country. We're taking care of other countries.
Yeah.
And that's wrong.
Yeah, it's wrong. And it's,
even the war shit. Like, why are we giving money to places for war? Like, we shouldn't be fighting wars if we can't take care of our homeless under the fucking bridge.
Yeah, and I agree. And with the the internet has so much, and people talk about, some things are propaganda, even with some of the weapons being given away in other countries, and we seeing stuff happen, like bombings and stuff. It's like, what the heck? Like nobody actually wants to see that. And as the people in America, you know what I'm saying? I just feel like we are misjudged a lot as far as like us, the people. I think that those countries should keep whatever they have and build what they need to and leave us alone. But then when you guys are ready, you like how some countries have been developed into that, but you know, just like let people live. And I feel like at the same time with this election, it's so different because we're at a different point in time in like life and in the world. So it's deep.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like nobody really wants war. So, hey, I'm not for any party that wants war. That's dead. Like I want to live. I want the planet to be here. So if you're speaking on war or even giving gun, we don't need that. That's like, you know, if other countries want to make war, they can make their own war. I also think, you know, as far as Trump, you know, people talk about him and what he's doing. Some of the things he's doing is what he's doing. I wouldn't say it's American based. Like what he wants to do in his 4 years in his presidency is strictly American based. I know it's terrifying for somebody to hear that, you know, they're going to seize illegal immigrants and they're going to take them wherever they're going to take them. That's like, and I've seen comments online with people saying, oh, you know, they're going to take kids and they're going to, but you know, just like if we were in another country smoking weed and we know that they don't allow that and we're going to serve a consequence.
Russia and Brittany Griner.
Yeah. Russia, thank you. That is perfect. She was stuck. Yeah. You can't do anything about it. That's how government works. You come here, you do something illegal. You don't, you know, have the proper paperwork. That's what you get. And it's just, I feel like it should be the same here. And depending on who we have in office and in parties, clearly shows from when Trump was in office to when now Biden is office. That depends on who is in charge of like those things. And if you see in the last 4 years, so many laws have changed. Serious laws have changed. Even here in New Orleans, like it's illegal to protest. Like,
oh, is it? I didn't know this.
Yeah, in New Orleans, I think you can get fined for protesting. Like to even do maybe you gotta like go to the city. You have to go to City Hall and do all this other stuff now to really protest.
Like get permits and shit.
I guess so. They don't want anybody protesting. That happened illegal. This year. Yeah, it's illegal, but they made it legal. So it's just like, is it because of the house warrant? Like, how do you do stuff like that? So I feel like as an American going in to vote this year, you know, you better think about the next 4 years. Don't just think about, hey, this person went to a HBCU or, you know, just all these basic personality shit that people's on. That doesn't really matter.
Well, don't just vote based on skin color.
Yeah, don't vote on skin color. That's the smartest thing to do. And then for, you know, we got a mixed podcast. We got chocolate and vanilla right here. And a lot of people will say that people are going to talk shit about me. You know, people are going to say, hey, that black woman's unintelligent. She's this and that. I'm like, you know what? No, I'm not. Because there's Africans that don't like me because I'm African American or whatever. You know what I'm saying? There's Chinese people, you know, there's Nigerian people that don't like me. They got people my own skin color from different countries that don't like me just because I'm an American black woman. So it doesn't really matter about the race.
Well, you're actually thinking for yourself too. I feel like a lot of these people, they don't think for themselves. So of course they're not going to like you because they're going to hear one person go, hey, did you hear what she said? And they're all going to jump on the fucking bandwagon. But once again, like I said, they're not going to say anything to your face.
Yeah.
They're going to do it over the internet and that's it.
Yeah.
That's the crazy thing about where we, this day and age that we live in is people, they don't want to say anything in real life, but they have a shield in between them when they're on the computer. Like we had an issue last Sunday. One of the people that came to karaoke night accidentally got skipped in line. And rather than coming in and saying, hey, did you guys skip over my name? They went on the fucking internet and wrote a bad review.
Oh, no.
And it's like, why would you do that? Like, how bad did we ruin your entire fucking week by accidentally skipping you in karaoke that you had to go write a bad review?
Yeah.
But like he would never go confront the guy the host in real life and say, hey, did you skip me? He just wanted to go through the internet. It's insane. Yeah.
You can't go through the internet. You gotta be more professional. And I'm very upset. I wanted to really hear the other guy that was coming. I'm not gonna lie, But I mean,
I agree. I'm telling you, I'm waiting for someone who can convince me that Kamala is a good person to vote for. There was only one argument that I've heard so far, and it was a guy that came on anonymously, and he was talking about something called the Overton window. Are you familiar with this? Okay. So if you like think of the far right and the far left, the Overton window is like where we're sitting at on those scales. And he was saying that we're so far to the right now as a society that you have to vote blue in order to skew the Overton window back. And I was like, yes, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to vote this brainless person in as a candidate.
Yeah.
Like I get his argument, but at the same time, there can be a better candidate. The only reason they're putting her up for the candidacy right now is because she's controllable.
Yeah.
And no one wants Trump in office because whoever is they that's in control can't control Trump. He's going to do what he wants to for the people.
Yeah. It makes me nervous for, Trump to actually, do his thing out there. But hey, you can't be stopped. You got a bunch of haters. And it is odd to me that there's so many people against him. So many people. And I don't know. I'm not going to base things strictly off this person's personality. I don't know Trump personally. I don't know Camilla personally. I only know a little bit of facts, just like everybody else. But like, I'm going to state, I do know what's going on around me. I do understand what's going on in the community that I'm in. So it's very much beyond that. And as a American person born and raised here, legal citizen, whatever you want to say, and this is people that are just out at grocery stores and renewing their driver's license, right? That a man renewing his license or ID or something, he goes there. He says there is a person who wasn't from America. They had some type of paperwork in their hand. What paperwork? He couldn't see that. And they were getting a 45-day temporary license. And all they have to do is come back every 45 days, renew their license. Not legal, no real paperwork, no ID, no nothing. And they can do that. And you know how much crap, I'm just saying, how much crap as American we go through to keep these IDs. And now you got to get a real ID and shit. And then they've been here, like what, a 45-day temporary like driver's license? They can't even drive. You can go online, and some of these people really can't properly drive, and they're on the roads. I mean, Americans, we ain't the best drivers. Fuck that. I don't know. But I'm just saying, like, it's just the 45-day license is wild, though.
Have you gotten your real ID yet?
No.
Me neither, dude. That's what there's so many fucking things you got to bring with you. It's like, who has access to all these things?
Right. Only a real Americans have to go through all these obstacles to fucking identify now? No. So if it's going to be one way, it's going to be the same way for everybody else. But also, as a healthcare worker and a healthcare advocate, it is also dangerous for so many people to come to a country without proper paperwork, proper health evaluations, proper vaccinations. What is that? That puts our health at risk because depending on where people are coming from, you don't know what they're bringing in. So then we can have diseases and stuff like reoccurring that may have not even been around for years. So the mix can be pretty dangerous where people that were born and raised in America or legally in America, you've gotten your vaccine since you were a kid. So we don't know that these people have gotten vaccines. There's no shot records, no health records, nothing. That's dangerous, guys.
I don't get vaccines.
I'm just saying, you got those baby vaccines. You got those.
No, they shoved those in me for sure. But yeah, whenever I got to the certain age where I was like, hey, what the fuck are we doing here?
Hey, chickenpox vaccine is very important.
I just got chickenpox.
Yeah, you did.
Look at that little scar there.
Oh my God. Did you get the vaccine though when you were young?
Yeah, when I was young, I got it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and that's when I caught chickenpox after. I mean, I guess I got the vaccine. I don't know. I caught chickenpox. So
it's called something else. But
so maybe I didn't get it because why would I get chickenpox if I got the vaccine?
Exactly. You didn't get it. You didn't get it because you got the vaccine.
Well, yeah, but don't they say that after you get it once, you never get it again?
Maybe. I never. Oh,
that's a chickenpox scar. You can touch it.
Wow. I never got chickenpox though. I got the vaccine. I never got it. But I'm just saying those basic ones, like for like, and it's honestly, it's not even for judgment of like, oh, you're gross, but like for your own safety, like for their own safety too. Like preferably you're coming into a new place and it's different atmosphere, different air.
Yeah, you don't know what viruses are over there. I mean, have you ever been out of the country? Okay. Going certain places out of the country suck. Like you realize how good you actually have it in America.
Mhm.
And I think this is why a lot of people like flee over here, because one of the countries that I went to is very third world. I mean,
Mhm.
you'll see little kids, 5, 6 years old, selling candy on the side of the street because that's what they had to do to survive.
Right.
And there's just trash everywhere. It was pretty rough. But I think that's the reason that people are rushing over here. But at the same time, like you're saying, whenever I was out of the country, I got sick because there was stuff, I was being introduced to germs and bacteria that I'd never been introduced to before.
Mhm.
And you get sick for a couple days and then you get over it.
You get immune to everything. Yeah, I watch a lot of videos online, but I'm just saying, like, that's what's been keeping things safe, like, for, years. I mean, but I mean, you don't have to, but it's just,
I read too much.
you read too much. You
And
don't think I think the vaccines are necessary.
Well,
like your first
there's a
time.
guy named Rudolph Steiner. I recommend you reading some of his stuff sometimes, and it may change your opinions on vaccines.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not even the beginning ones, like, just to like.
Yeah, I think those are the worst.
You think that's.
Yeah.
I feel like if getting them later in life probably would be very different than like us when we were like kind of vaccinated younger. We didn't really it could have affected us, but we wouldn't have known too much how like.
So Rudolf Steiner in the 1900s, the early 1900s, he wrote one of his papers, and it was about, one of the quotes in it actually says, "We will soon have a vaccine that cuts the human being off from the soul."
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking freaky.
What?
And that was in like 1916 or something. So like that was, then you had the worldwide Spanish flu vaccine was like the first one that went worldwide. And that was like maybe 40s. I'm probably gonna get these numbers wrong, but whenever I read that, I was like, hang on a second. Maybe we don't need to be giving kids these.
Yeah, kids probably don't need.
Yeah, but I mean, I think when you get to a certain age, if you're an adult and you're like, hang on, I need to make this decision for myself. Mm-hmm. And you're like, I'm going to do this. Then that's when you should be able to do it. But I think that way about everything. So they don't need me to be the president, because I would be like, yeah, all drugs are free. Or not drugs are free, but you pay for them, but they're legal.
Yeah.
Because I think that if you are an adult, you should be able to experience mushrooms if you want to.
Yeah.
You should be able to
at your own risk.
Yeah, at your own risk.
Yep. At your own risk, do the drugs. No,
yeah. Well, I mean, they're studying all these things right now. So eventually they will be legal, but the pharmaceutical industry will take control of them. But like, if you just made them all legal now, and people could grow their own fucking mushrooms and have their own medicine, essentially.
True. So there was something that I heard, from watching one of the Trump speeches, and he mentions a lot that, other countries are taking America as a joke. What do you think about that?
I think that that's a good take. Oh. Yeah. I mean, if you look at our leadership right now, they're a fucking joke, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know if I was Russia, I'd be like, dude, this is the time to take them. Russia and China, I'd be like, this is the time to take them. Like,
oh, Jesus. Because like, wait, I know. Yeah.
But also the same thing, when you have weak leadership like that, they're quick to push the fucking red button.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they would just fucking launch nukes for no reason, rather than actually sit down and talk about it. That's why I like Trump's take on these things, because he's not intimidated by Putin or by Ming or whatever his name is.
Oh yeah, he did like sit down with him before.
Down with
that's
him, yeah.
Crazy. That's like a wild combo. I'm not gonna lie.
Well,
like,
I mean, but it's just two humans talking, Yeah. At the end of the day, like Putin, we have this like fear mongering aspect of him because that's what we've always been shoved down our throats. But he's still just another human trying to do what's best for his people.
Yeah. I mean, he keeps it clean. I would say that.
So I saw a video one time.
He keeps it clean. Though.
This changed my perspective on Putin. It was a video one time where all these billionaire factory owners were shutting down their factories because they couldn't agree on something.
Oh, wow.
So Putin calls every one of them in and sits them down at a table. And he's sitting there with them at this table. And he makes them sign this agreement. So Putin actually wrote out the agreement and was like, this seems like fair terms. We're going to sign this. And there were two people that didn't want to sign it. So he pulls his pen out and he walks over to him and he hands him his pen. And he says, sign this now.
Dang.
And they signed the fucking paper, and then he said, "Give me my pen back."
Oh,
and I was like, dude, but he got people back to work because that was his whole thing. He's like, the factories are shutting down because the rich people can't agree on things, but the people are not able to eat because they can't work.
Right.
So he's like, let's get the people back to work. Let's get them doing what they want to do.
Right.
So he got productivity back up. But I mean, sometimes that's what it takes. It takes a person to go fucking do it. Like this is a fair agreement for everyone here. Let's do it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and nothing's going to be perfect. Like America is like I feel like it's never going to be perfect, but you see the difference. You see the difference in when certain things are run. And now, I'm 26 years old. I am part of a younger generation. I'm not the youth, but as far as for them, I mean, if we look at how things are going for us, we need something better. I mean,
Dude,
you can barely even, you can't do much, but I enjoy that Trump, one of his things is like, no tax on overtime. So many people are working overtime because, jobs are limited and stuff like that. Like, that would be great. Like, I would love that for just people in general. Like, get all your change, whatever you make, no matter what. That's a great thing. So that's why I say like the more like American based stuff instead of, let's think about all the services we can give away, And as far as like, I know people talk about, Camilla was talking about giving like the illegal aliens like the gender changes and all this stuff. And I'm just like, I don't know, where that really came from.
And people in prison too. That's another
people
thing.
in prison.
Yeah.
Those.
Like, I mean, if I was in an all male prison, I'd want a gender change too. Yeah, send me to the female prison. Shit. Sign me up.
That's Camilla's fun side. We did hear that she was kind of hot, a hot girl back then. So maybe that's just like, what, let him get his pussy made, and he could be in there for his life sentence. That's weird. That's so weird to me. Why would that even? That's beyond anything that we need to focus on. So like mentioning stuff like that, I feel like that's irrelevant. I don't care about that. Like, you should not even be talking about that. But I think it's awkward. I don't think anything should be forced on anybody. We live in America. You can be who you want to be anyways. You're going to find your world. So I don't feel like this is a place where like anything has to be like forced on you. You're going to be where you're going to be whenever. So
what would it take for someone to convince you to vote for Kamala? Do you think it's possible? Or are you like so, far, wanting to vote for Trump now that you're just like, there's just no way? Or like, what is it about her that you're like, no? Honestly,
before her, because, with a lot of the more, rich candidates like Trump and Kamala and stuff, they kind of put them out there. I don't know if I haven't looked at anybody else to see if there's anybody else even trying, with those two on there. But maybe I would take a look at the other people and maybe see, because we might have an outlook, but they focus on these two because there was a few other good people running.
Dude, I love RFK, Robert Kennedy. Yeah. The issue with him is that his voice, and that's so fucked up. But a lot of Americans don't like to listen to the guy talk because he has that voice impediment.
Yeah.
But the
messed
guy,
up.
he has like my views, my stances on everything, even psychedelics. Like if you actually listen to what he says about psychedelics, one of his kids was healed from a very traumatic event by psychedelics.
Yeah, that's important.
So it changed his whole view on them.
Yeah, that's important. It's important to just and see, that's like a person, even though it's like psychedelics, a lot of people may have not joined. I mean, that's like, okay, that's some American shit. Like, give us more of that. Like, I hate how they try to like just promote the presidency. Is so weird now because of the internet too. And also, I almost forgot about this. I think it was very stereotypical that Camilla did bring, Megan Thee Stallion and people to twerk. That's just like,
and did she? For what?
For I think one of her campaigns or something like that. Here. Yeah, Megan Thee Stallion twerking for Camilla is the most stereotypical wannabe black shit you can do. Her mentioning online how she was the friend bringing the greens to her friends. Come on, like, black people. And I ain't trying to say that's just stereotypical shit. That's just like a racist white person come and talk to you. They're telling you stereotypical shit. It was cool that Megan Thee Stallion was on there, but as a black person, we have so many more creative people out there. She could have had somebody do a poem. You could have had if you wanted to, do the black advocacy, do a black person to come do a poem.
Yeah, she's doing some like cliche shit just to try to get people to vote for her.
Yeah, black people. That's what I'm saying. It's stereotypical shit. Like, and nothing's wrong with Megan Thee Stallion. It's like fine, but that's just like that was just really awkward to me. It was like, okay, you're trying way too hard.
It's like, what does this have to do with politics?
It doesn't.
Someone twerking their ass on stage.
And then, I know Taylor Swift told Donald Trump no, but like Trump, I think Trump, when she told him no, like, you don't do stuff like that, stay in your lane. We don't need you getting nobody to perform. No, I was kidding. We don't need him to have nobody. You don't really need performances. That is That is a gig. It really makes you look stereotyped depending on who you pick. Like Camilla and even if she would have picked, I wouldn't have cared who she picked, but you picked somebody that was twerking out of everything and supposedly like for the black community. It was just like, come on.
Well, I would like to know how much they paid them.
I know,
So
right?
even like the Taylor Swift thing, I'd like to know how much they paid her to endorse Kamala.
Yeah.
Because that's just like, why even use your influence that way?
Yeah.
Because you're not actually educating people on the candidates. You're just saying, hey, vote for this person. And you have this huge influence.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you actually doing? That should be illegal in my opinion.
I think so. I think it's very unprofessional. This is not, I think how they did like maybe like presidencies back in like 2000s or 2002 was a lot about this like bullshit, like commercials and like, let me talk about, like that to me, that's old. Like we got to get with like the new age of shit. Like we're taking shit seriously. You know what I'm saying? Like this presidency is not, when people look at it, it's not just for show because we're being affected wherever you are so much. Like, yeah, having people twerk and saying we don't need to hear any of that shit. Honestly, even the debates are kind of like very like, it makes America look kind of childish in a way because it's like people can't even talk to each other.
Well, there's so many subliminal things in those debates too that people don't realize. Like if you actually go back and look at the camera angles, like they even angled the cameras to make Trump look smaller and to make Kamala look more powerful.
Yeah.
Like that. The only reason I picked that up is because I work in film. So it makes sense. Like whenever you put the camera angles the right way. And yeah, they really botched that one.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's so much going against him that it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And
that's
in fact,
what I said.
People are trying to fucking kill him and shit.
Yeah. I think it's messed up. And I don't think anybody should be targeted. And I seen like the first attempt. I saw everything. Like I even saw the guy shot. Like I was like, whoa, I can't believe I put my eyes on this. But yeah,
they showed the dead guy somewhere.
Yeah, on the internet.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, it was gross. I can't believe I looked at that.
Where'd they hit him at? A headshot.
Yeah,
Nice.
it was. Shot. Oh my gosh. But yeah, we shouldn't be trying to kill people. Like, hey, it's Trump. He can be an asshole, but like Americans are fucking assholes. Like that's nothing new. Okay, like American people can be pretty fucking mean. So I think trying to like shoot this man because he is your basic American. He's just in his own status. It's messed up.
But he wants the war machine to stop. That's why I like Trump.
Yeah, nobody wants war. Like that's what I'm saying. If you want war, to me, you're an alien. You're not a real person to me.
You want people to die. Yeah, something's wrong with you.
Yeah, you want people to die. It's not cool. And it's just unnecessary. If the world is already so limited on clean water and clean air at this time that we're in, because global warming still is real, needs somebody to really start talking about that shit. One of these presidents, somebody, it's real. So all war will literally, this is like, all jokes aside, like war right now for us will like end our world. Like, so I don't think it's necessary. It's
where do you fall in the AI spectrum?
AI is confusing. That's scary too. That's why I say with the internet, you got so much shit. Like people could literally pretend to be me. Like that is scary. But I did see that in I think Los Angeles, that they're gonna make it illegal for them to use people's faces as AI to make money. Like I literally seen that yesterday.
So they have to like use AI generated faces rather than actual human faces.
Yeah, they were trying to do that but it's gonna be illegal over there. So it's like stuff like that. That makes it scary. So you don't really. It's like what's going on, but you really don't know. But hey, with the resources that we have, TikTok, that's a good one. TikTok shows everything. TikTok is the new age, modern day slavery. That's where you see. That's what I say TikTok is. But you do see people in these spaces and that are very poor in other countries. It look like countries that have had war or bombings and stuff, and just like shit. So AI is dangerous. Because you don't really know if you're dealing with real people, like, and they can like alter it. If you're smart and you're like, if you really are like a self-aware and you can identify real from fake, you gotta be smart. I don't know. I was just like,
my hopes with AI is that we're talking about like the systems that we live in, like system of government and stuff and how bad it is.
Yeah.
I wish AI could come around and be like, I'm going to turn this around and kind of like fix things. So my thing is we're so far gone now. This is my thoughts on like life and everything. Like humans are so far gone. There's no way to like actually bring them back. So let's dump everything we can into AI and just see what AI can do for us. And it may be the end of us, but it also could be a beautiful beginning. Yeah.
AI is scary. But yeah, it does help. I use AI all the time when I'm making edits and stuff to help me. And so, I mean, they have a lot of good things. It has a lot of good things. Like it can help you, really put a paragraph together.
Yeah.
But, like seriously, but it's dangerous.
I heard that Microsoft is about to, you know what 3 Mile Island is? It's like our nuclear reactor.
Oh, wow.
It's like a big one that they call it like the America's Chernobyl. Chernobyl was the one that burned down or that, I don't know what they melted down. I guess is what they call it when a nuclear reactor goes chaos or crazy. But this is like our 3 Mile Island, and they're fixing to restart it to power Microsoft's AI.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they're going to use nuclear power strictly to power an AI.
That's scary. That's very scary to me. It sounds scary. It is scary.
It does sound scary.
We got some people in this world that are too fucking smart. Honestly, that's what it is. We got people that are too smart because why would you want to do certain things? Like that hurts the planet.
Well, I think that way about even medical procedures.
Yeah.
Like I heard Elon Musk, they're about to start moving forward with one of his Neuralink procedures that allows people to see again. So like they can implant a chip in your brain and then you can see again visually. And they said right now it's going to be like an Atari, but eventually you'll have better vision than we will. And you'll be able to see in like infrared and stuff like this. So that's, those kind of things, that's cool. But like how far are we going to push it?
That's scary.
Knowing how humans are, there's in 50 years, we'll have augmented people walking around here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm saying the dead's going to be living. The dead's going to be alive.
Maybe so.
But have a Beetlejuice shit going on.
Yeah.
Hey.
What if you could live for 500 years, would you do it?
Yeah, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I'm tired of the shit right now. And I'm just kidding. No, I mean, I would do it. Totally be a vampire, like old, just helping people stay alive. I'm gonna know all the bullshit.
Well, the issue with like living to be 500 is there's going to be other people that live to be 500. And eventually, don't you think there'll be too many?
Yeah. Yeah, the planet will be overpopulated for sure. But speaking of the chip, the neuro stuff, I remember maybe like 2 years ago, I was working at Raw Shop, right? And remember they were talking about the chips for putting it implanted in people. We had a guy come in there. His family was actually doctors, and doctors like to experiment on their children and their family, okay?
He had one?
He had the link, and he would pay for his stuff.
Ugh.
And sometimes it took a second for him, like for us to do it. Oh, yeah. But he was definitely his...
It was in his like wrist?
Mm-hmm. Like in his hand somewhere. I forgot which area. But it was implanted, and he'll do this. And the only reason why he had it is because his family was in the medical field, which is crazy. So that's Neuralink test 1. So when the doctor...
Well, like what do they because every now and then you have to get a new card, right? Does he have to get a new chip and put it in?
Honestly, I wish I would have asked him that, but I was just tripping out so much because I was like, they talk about the mark of the beast and all that stuff. So I was like, this is what people are talking about. This is the mark. This guy has a mark. But it's cool. Like, I was like, this is a cool mark, man. You're in here like... You never have to worry about not having money unless they don't take the scanner, So.
Well, can I walk up to him with my own little scanner and be like, beep?
Probably, yeah. He has this little technology advice in him. But yeah, I don't think, all that stuff, like, it's just like, I don't know. I feel like people like that, like, it's not weird. It's very unique what they want to do, but I don't think it's necessary. I think we need to start really like rebuilding the planet and like planting trees again. And really getting our oxygen together because that's how we live. And, some of these, people that we have in our industries, they scare me. It's like, are you real? Like, are you human? Like, what are you? Why are you doing this?
Well, it's entertainment,
It's entertainment, but it's real. Like, and, it's scary. I just want to mention this just because, but, you talked about the vaccine, right?
Uh-huh.
And it taking your soul. And I remember, they had people on trial for the COVID vaccine. Now, I'm not saying the COVID vaccine is no soul snatcher or nothing like that. But I remember this one black lady, she was like, I'm never doing this shit again. I don't know why I did this.
Did it hurt her?
She looked normal, but maybe she just didn't feel like herself. Like to this day, I still been trying to figure out like what exactly was wrong with her. Cause maybe she just like stayed in a facility. Maybe it looked like she was in a facility. I don't know what the hell she was, but I know
Like a crazy house?
She was doing a COVID vaccine trial. So before any vaccine comes out, they do pay people, and there's people that go into our local hospitals and all this stuff, and they sign up and they get monitored for maybe a year, 2 years, 3 years, 30 days.
Said she regretted it.
Yeah.
Why? Did she say why?
No, she was just tripping out in this video, man. But when you said something about like them making a vaccine or something like that, eventually from the book you were reading. Right?
Oh yeah, it's Rudolf Steiner, and he gives an explanation of how it does it too, because he talks about how they say like the Trinity in religions, like a mind, body, spirit. Well, he calls it the physical body, the astral body, and the etheric body. Like those are the words he uses to explain it. And he says that whenever you sleep at night, you go from the physical body to the astral body. And the only way that you can bring those dreams back is if you cultivate and grow the etheric body, which is like the medium in between. And he says that in order to cultivate and grow this etheric body, you have to have a pure body. So meaning no elements, no sickness. You have to eat pure food. It's kind of like a cleanse, basically.
Yeah.
You have to cleanse your entire body, so it's a pure vessel, and then you actually grow the etheric body. And he says that when you give kids these vaccines at a very early age, it actually makes them sick for their entire life with allergies and things like this.
Yeah.
So it could be an allergy that you get whenever you're a baby getting your vaccines. Like maybe they shoot you full of vaccines, you have an immune response, and you have leather on your skin. Well, then you have a leather allergy for the rest of your life, because all your body knows is, hey, I'm having an immune response right now. Then it goes, well, what is making me have this immune response? And then it could go, well, there's leather on my skin, which is something that, is not normal. So maybe this is the immune response. So now every time the rest of your life leather touches your skin, you start to flare up because your body goes back into that, hang on, this is probably what's making me sick.
Yeah. I feel like the vaccines now, maybe from like when me and you were younger and getting them, is very different. And it scares me because I feel like there's a lot of autistic kids now, way over the amount. I feel like maybe when we were younger. And I remember me and my sister getting the vaccine before when we were younger, and we had major headaches the whole day. But she had hers first one day, and then I had mine like the next day. We're just at home crying the whole day. It was after. I don't know what vaccine that was though. I was like, what? But that was the only time I really, really remember like a big reaction with a vaccine. But it's crazy. I that's scary though, to think of like a souls thing with the.
Well, there's just so much going on that we have no clue about. You only see like 0.01% of what's actually going on around you. So, I mean, think about, we know that everything's energy based off physics, right? It's just different densities of energy. So if you could actually see the energy around you, you would see things totally different.
Yeah, I need the psychedelics for that.
Have you ever done psychedelics?
Yeah, I tried them. My first trip was crazy. I actually seen a lot. I don't know.
Was that mushrooms? Is that what you did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I took too much and I thought it didn't work. And I was like, I wasted like it was my first trip, and I was like, man, this shit isn't working. I was like, we just spent like $50 on this.
Let's take some more.
Yeah. That's what
Mistake
happened.
number one.
So I was like, I was with a guy at the time, one of my exes. And I was like, I'm going outside. I went to meet my friend. And I was like, girl, I didn't took these shrooms. I was like, they didn't do shit. Like, we're just talking, hanging out. I was like, after maybe like 10 minutes, I was like, I need to go home. Like, I was like, the sky looks different. Like, shit is off right now. I'm going. So I left her. Then we end up, when she kind of go on your trip, you want to go out. So we go out. I'm like on Canal by Harris Casino, like the palm trees looking like 3D and shit. I didn't see a snake. I thought I seen a snake. I'm like, you guys a snake. I'm like, what the f-?
But dude, the fact that you went into the French Quarter on mushrooms is insane.
Yeah, this spiritual down there. It was scary. I'm telling you. I mean, like, I still ended up doing maybe shrooms a couple of times, but I microdosed, never a half or
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just I should never went downtown because that was a lot of energy. It was so many people talking and just like so much going on. Like that should never be my first trip. And I had a little bit of daiquiri with it. Ooh, I was out.
Yeah, I tend to stay away from people whenever I'm doing mushrooms because people and places have a huge influence on you when you're doing the mushrooms, just because of the energies that people and places give off. So one of the ways I like to take them, this is very therapeutic, is just to take them and go into a dark room.
Wow.
And rather than like being outside of yourself, you actually go inside of yourself.
Yeah.
And you deal with like shit that you got to work on.
Yeah, that would probably be better because a lot of times, if any, friends, they'd be like, come on, let's go out, let's do this and let's go walk, let's go to the park. I'm like, okay, the park is parking. And why do I feel like I have to pee? like what is going on? Not that it was the worst trip, but when I woke up the next day and stuff like that, I felt good. Like I felt great. It was just like I had to, but I have anxiety too. I have functioning anxiety, and I'm a very like self-aware person. So that like knowing that you're kind of like a conscious person and you take the psychedelic and you go, it's like, whoa, it's like now all my senses are like 20 times more than what they actually are. So now I may feel like I'm hearing people.
You may feel like what?
I'm hearing people.
Oh, hearing people?
Hearing people from far away, or like I said, I'm seeing things. Speaking of the snake moment during psychedelics, right?
Well, you like snakes though, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
You were hanging out with a snake out here.
Yeah. This was before that time. This was way before. So before I seen the snake, I was with my boyfriend at that time, right? We was with one of his friends. It was my first time meeting him. He was being weird, right? He was trying to like look at me low key. And then I saw a snake. So I was like, bro, like, why did this? I swear to you, I'm like, why does all happen? The shroom trip. I'm tripping now. So I'm like, this is like a sign. I was like, dude, you better watch your friend. I don't know. I'm on these psychedelics. I didn't see the snake. He doing snaky shit. Like, let's figure this out. So I had a little spiritual moment.
No, it makes sense. I think there's a lot going on subconsciously that we tend to look over. And then when you're on psychedelics, like you said, your sensory experience is such heightened that you're actually getting the subconscious too. Yeah,
it's weird though. I was like, I'm crazy. I don't know if I could do this again. But I did eventually do it again. Had better trips. Like I said, just out in nature, just like walking around and stuff.
But still, I mean, they really expand your mind whenever you take them. And I've been telling this to people. So I have an ex-girlfriend who is totally against vaccines, which is dope. I'm down with that.
Yeah.
But she's also totally against psychedelics. And I'm like, I get it. You don't want to take anything, but this is, for me, psychedelics were such a powerful thing that I tell anyone, I'm like, if you think if you think that something's going on that's wrong in the world, then you should definitely take these and try to expand on that.
Yeah. It's nature's drug, really.
Yeah, I mean, it grows in the ground.
Yeah.
That's why I like weed. I like mushrooms because these are things that grow in the ground. I hate alcohol.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
I drink.
Dude, I drink too, but like my body hates alcohol too. I'll be hungover for like 3 days after I drink one day.
Yeah, I'm hungover.
Right now you are?
Yeah. I need some water. Wait, do you have water?
I don't have any water. I mean, I got a half a bottle over there that's got, you just get to look at it the whole podcast.
No, I'm gonna pass out.
No, we can close up here. Do you got any shows or anything coming up? Are you still doing comedy and stuff? Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll probably be here on Tuesday, for the open mics. All open mics right now. And then,
just working out your material. I like it.
Yeah, working out my material. You guys can catch me on Instagram at MsHippyGypsea. But we can break, or we can. I just need. You have water now?
No, I mean we can go and cancel it. I mean, we can go and shut her down anyway. I got another guest coming on in a little bit.
Oh, sorry.
But I'll get you some water. I'll get you some water.
All right.
Well, MsHippyGypsea, I appreciate you coming in today, and I've thoroughly enjoyed the conversation about politics.
Me too. Thank you so much. Another bar. See you on Tuesday.